And it appears voters in Denmark have said yes to the country joining the European Union's common defence policy. According to a public broadcaster exit poll, more than 69% have supported the plan in a referendum. Now, Denmark is an EU member, but in the past had negotiated an exemption on the bloc's defence policy. Now, against a backdrop of Russian aggression, Danes were asked whether they want to opt in. So straight to DW correspondent Barbara Vazel, who is in Copenhagen with the latest on this referendum. Barbara, exit polls pointing to a yes from Denmark voting in favor of joining the EU's common defence policy after 30 years of opting out. What is this going to mean for Denmark?
It means for Denmark that they have really let go of their so deeply ingrained skepticism against the European Union. It means that they will now come to the table with other European countries to coordinate, for instance, their weapons, coordinate missions, participate in EU missions, for instance, the one in Mali and in other places in the world, that they want to come inside the tent. And that maybe is the most important point. Danes have been looking at the war in Ukraine, and they found it increasingly disquieting. They found that the time for being isolated and being apart from others, sort of loftily saying, oh, we can do our own things, this time is over, and they really have changed their mind on coming back into the fold.
And the fact that this was put to a referendum is quite interesting. Why is this significant for Denmark?
It is really significant for them because they will now sort of be part of the wider defense family of Europe. But it also means that the political atmosphere in Denmark has changed, that people are looking at politics in a different way. They felt sort of aloof, they felt sort of apart from other countries. They thought they could sort of do things according to their own ideas. But now they find that everyone is threatened. It's the Baltic countries that are not that far from here. It's Finland with the very long coastline and borderline towards Russia. So Danes feel that this war changes everything for them. It changes their feeling that they need togetherness with others. And that is a totally new step and a real sea change in Danish politics.
So is it fair to say then that this plays into the overall Nordic shift in defense policy with its neighbors, Sweden and Finland, deciding that they want to join NATO?
Oh, absolutely, because Danes now think, okay, Finland and Sweden come into NATO. That means that we can form one big defense family here in the north. Take in the Baltic countries, Norway, of course, Sweden, Finland, Denmark. The countries are not that big taken by themselves, but together they can form they can have some political weight, and they can really reinforce each other. They can have common projects. They can sort of stand up for each other. And that really means something to the self-confidence of Danes, and they are really ready now to sort of give up a lot of the resilience they had in the past against this togetherness, and it means that they have become the slightest touch more pro-European.
DW correspondent Barbara Vazel in Copenhagen. Thanks as always for your reporting. Well, we've just heard Sweden and Finland are pushing ahead with their landmark bids to join NATO. For Sweden, joining the military alliance would mean giving up more than 2 centuries of neutrality. Public opinion in favor of joining grew to around 50% after Russia invaded Ukraine. But NATO-member Turkey opposes the bids. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan accuses Sweden of supporting terrorists and is angry about Stockholm's embargo on arms sales to Turkey. Well, speaking exclusively to DW News, the Swedish Defence Minister, Peter Hultqvist, explained what was behind his country's historic shift.
The situation before 24th of February was one situation, and the situation after the Russian attack against Ukraine is another. We have a situation when we have a real war in our neighborhood, and that has changed the situation fundamentally. And we have also decided after a security analysis to go to NATO membership together with Finland. Our values is the same values as the other countries in Europe, for example, Germany and others, that we try to create peace and we try to create peaceful solutions. But we are not naive. We see the development around us, and we must also make conclusions from that situation. Now we have the first big war in our neighborhood since the Second World War. So there is a fundamental change, and it's 100% Russia's responsibility.
The Swedish Defense Minister Peter Hultqvist speaking there.